What's up, Spartans? Whack4863 in the place to be, and today I've got something a little bit different, little variation from what I normally post on my channel. It is still Conan Exiles. We are actually on the PC version, and what I am showcasing for you today is actually a mod. And this mod was created by our very own Multigun. Now, if you don't know who Multigun is, he is a pretty big deal in the Conan universe, Conan community. And the mod that we are actually looking at is Tier 4 Thralls always spawn. That means you get 100% chance at having a named Thrall spawn in any of the spots that they can be found. So I'm just running around Sepamaru showing you all the different names that could appear here. And I'm going to show you some other areas as well as we get into the video. The reason why I wanted to do this is because I actually use this to double check where things spawn in the world. And there's nothing more frustrating than running around killing a spot that you expect to find a named Thrall and never finding that named Thrall there, and realizing that there isn't a named person that spawns there. So I use this to kind of run around and see what can and what cannot spawn a named Thrall, and what areas I should be looking at in my PvE server that I play on. So that's the reason why I use it. Now, there are a couple of variations to this mod. There is also a half increase spawn rate, which gives you a 10 to 20% chance, and there is a increased spawn rate, which gives you a 20 to 40%. So if you were hosting, say, like a PvP server, a role-playing server, it doesn't matter whether it's PvP or PvE, if you're hosting like a role-playing server and you wanted to have more Thralls spawning, right, you could load one of these up and have more Thralls. I can tell you this: if you have the 100%, the one that I'm on right now, and you were not in God mode and you were actually trying to kill all these people, you'd have a pretty difficult time. So there's something to be said about using this mod in another way as well. If you wanted to just kind of get crazy and see how hard it would be if you went up against all named people, this would be a mod to do that. But like I said, the reason why I use it this way is because I like to see where named people spawn. Now, you may have seen some names a little bit earlier on that you're not familiar with. Currently in this build of the mod, there are some characters that were added in, so it's not purely vanilla. You may find people that don't actually exist in the game, and I've had a conversation with Multigun about it as I was kind of deciding to do this video and put this video together. He has let me know that he isn't going to do that going forward. He's actually going to pull the names that he created out of the mod and make it more vanilla, and he's doing that not solely based on my reaction to it or my suggestion that it shouldn't be that way. He's had some other people suggest that those people shouldn't be in there. He should just have all the vanilla people spawning where they normally spawn and don't add anything else. But really cool way to kind of jump on a private game, get in there, kind of run around and see, is this still spawning in vanilla? Is this something that's actually here where I'm farming? Like the chieftain. I haven't seen a chieftain in a official server gameplay for a month or so now. But I know because I've looked at this mod that the chieftain still spawns there. So he's not changing where they spawn or anything like that. He's just increasing the rate of those name spawns. Now, you did see the captain earlier in Sepamaru. The captain is currently not spawning in Sepamaru, and the reason why it is spawning in this mod is because of that change that he made where it's not purely vanilla, right? So that's the way that I use it. I think there's other ways it could be used as well, probably things that I'm not thinking of, but If you want a little bit higher spawn rate, he's got an option for that. If you want half spawn rate, you know, he's got an option for that. The spawn rate is about 1 to 2% that you're gonna get a named thrall in that location. And I know, like, I went to the volcano and I looked for the armor that spawns in the volcano. I must have spent 2 months looking for that armor, and I got to thinking that she didn't exist. You know, they said it was fixed. They said she was spawning there, but it didn't exist. That's what I was thinking in my mind. And I actually did end up finding her prior to making this video, or prior to loading this mod. But if I had this mod at that time, it would have solidified the fact that I should continue to spend time farming that location, right? So it just gives you a little bit of peace of mind there. The other nice thing is, really, if you're looking for, if you're like me and you're playing adult Pokemon Go, trying to catch them all, then sometimes you don't know what names are where or what you're missing. So this is a way that you could go in and say, okay, well, I've got a Volufus the Hammer, but I don't have a Work of the Lost Tribe, right? So I need to continue to farm this spot for that spawn, right? I haven't seen a Delencia Snow Hunter in months in the Mounds of the Dead. Is she still spawning there? There she is. Delencia Snow Hunter is still spawning in the Mounds of the Dead, right? So really fun for me to be able to kind of go around, see where things spawn, see where I should spend time, and see where I shouldn't spend time. And that's really how I've been using this mod. And I got to give him props. I really like the idea behind it and what he's done with it. So, and the fact that there's 3 different ones, right? So you don't necessarily have to go to the 100%. You could do the 10 or the 20% or the 20 or 40%. So I think if you were hosting a role-playing server, you know, and wanted to be able to have a little bit more access to named thralls without quote-unquote spawning them in, if that makes sense, like you don't want to go straight over to spawning them in, but you want to have a little bit more access to named thralls for whatever your role play is. Then this would be a great way to kind of get that. You could load that on your server. Everybody would be able to kind of pull that up and find named thralls around the world. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm going to leave links in the description to get over and check out not only this mod, but all the mods that Multigun has done. And I don't know if you saw my last video, but my last video I actually ended up killing his Chosen of Azura character in Sinner's Refuge. So this is kind of an apology as well, if that makes sense. But I'll leave all that information to find his stuff in the description below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did and you have a like in your pocket, please pull it out, whack the like button. Peace.